Hello, my name is Neil Hand, and the following video is the book review of 5 historical nonfiction books for the completion of Week 8 for children's literature at California Baptist University. So let's begin. The age range I chose for my 5 books is the 3rd to 4th grade level, where our textbook Literature for Children describes this age as the cognitive development and falls under the period of concrete operations, 7 to 11. This area is where children are able to apply a kind of logic to their thinking and are capable of understanding conversation. They also start reading longer books and are able to grasp what they are reading. It is also an important time because they can understand that these books happened in the past and are not happening right now. So the first book I chose uh, for the review is Why We Won the American Revolution by John Mickles. This book goes into detail of the Revolutionary War and the battles that were fought. It's more of a history book. It's not an actual story book. Just kind of explains each battle and goes into detail. It's not graphic detail, so it's perfect for young children to read. It has big words, as I will show you. Big words, and has pictures that are big and just makes it entertaining and also helps you learn the history of the American Revolution. Secondly, I chose The Declaration of Independence by Dennis Bridle Fradin. This book starts off with the coming of America and the start of the 13 colonies, and then the breakout of people, which is called the Boston Tea Party. So it's everything that happened before we go into war with Britain. It's an overall good book. It explains the history of a young child. However, I found it kind of boring when reading it because it's not very entertaining reading about what happens before war. A lot of people just like to know what happens in war. And it's got big words as well and pictures. The pictures are kind of boring. It's just an overall kind of boring book, but is a good explanation of what happened before the war. Third, I chose is Will You Sign Here by Gene Fitz. This is an actual storybook. It has a narrator who is explaining the life of John Hancock from a young age to an old age. Not too serious, just is kind of a fun read for young children. The words are big, and the pictures are there to keep you from getting bored. It is a good way to learn about the important people in history. It also talks about other people that signed the Declaration of Independence, and it's just overall positive way to teach your child about important people from our past. The fourth book I chose is Valley Forge by Richard Amen. This book is all about the battle at Valley Forge and how George Washington bravely led our troops into battle. It has good headings where the book is headed next, as you can see. One second. The headings at the top are very big and point you to each next page in each section of the book. It has very big pictures, and it's a little longer of a book, but is managed. It also has an inside story, I feel, when I read it, about determination and inspiration and how you can overcome hardships in life. And I think this is important for children at this young age because they aren't going to be handed everything in life, and it's not always going to be easy. And what better example to use George Washington as someone who overcomes hardships in life and battle to teach your children this lesson. My fifth book is the last, and probably save the best for last. It's called George Did It by Trip Germain. This book is a funny comedic read. It doesn't really go into true historical context of George Washington's life, but it's just the overall funny story of how George Washington becomes president. It's good because it's not too serious, and I think most children at this age will find it entertaining. The overall length is good. The pictures are funny. got pies and funny people falling off horses and sitting on money. Um, so I think it would be enjoyed by most children. And that completes my 5 books. But it's also, in the books I chose, I feel the overall length of each book, I think, is perfect because the child at this age won't become lost or uninterested because the history can sometimes be boring. But for a child at this age, I feel these books do a wonderful job of keeping them entertained, but yet teaching us story about our past. And that concludes my video. Thank you for listening.